ladies, welcome to this year's videos for Facts About for Black History Month. I miss you all. It's been 365. If you are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you have been here, it's good to see you. Remember to like, share, and comment so I know that you are enjoying the content. Anyway, this year is 100 years of Black history. And so, also considering the social climate and political climate, I will be incorporating way more LGBT Black figures in this year's video. So, get ready for the ride. Also, I will be including more history from the African diaspora, not just Black people of Black American heritage, but all across the diaspora. Last year, I made a video about Eddie Carvey and Africville in Nova Scotia, Canada, and if you haven't watched that, go do that, Miss Mamas. But if you remember that video, I learned a lot, and I want to continue learning about Black people making history from wherever they are from. So you will also get into that this month as well. As stated, due to this year's social climate and political climate and the attack on the LGBT community, I will be talking about more LGBT Black figures for Black History Month. So in this first week of the 100th anniversary of Black History Month, I will be talking about the unsung pioneer of rhythm and blues, a transgender woman by the name of Miss Jackie Shane. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Jackie Shane was born on May 15th, 1940. Yes, Taurus. She was born in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, you think a young trans woman growing up in the Jim Crow South, she'd have trouble not only outside, but inside her home. Thankfully, that wasn't her story completely. She talks about how she was loved and accepted by her family, talking about her grandparents saying, quote, "They were the beacon of our lives and they understood me." The outside world, however, would not be so kind, stating, "Some adults were afraid of me because I was intelligent and I thought for myself." Like most Black folks with a background in singing, she started singing in the church. She was so good, in fact, that she started singing on the adult choir. Things would shift for Jackie Shane when she turned 13 and she visited her first blues club. And that is when she started to sing secular music. She became a drummer for a band, and the rest was history. She would perform on the Chitlin Circuit, a network of performance locations and spaces that were safe for Black people to convene and enjoy themselves freely without, the watching eye of the man. She would also hone her talents under the likes of Little Richard's band, The Upsetters. Now, of course, there are pros and cons to everything in life. And in her situation, the pros are she is a talented woman and she's making her dreams come true step by step. And she's working with some of the industry's best. But she's a young Black trans woman in the late 50s, early 60s. So the cons, they be conning. In her signature bouffant hairstyle and tailored suit, she was often confused by club owners for being a lesbian. Retelling one time of how a taxi driver said, "I don't know, as pretty as she is, why she wears suits?" She also talks about how she would be harassed by law enforcement. They would pull her over in her car and try to arrest her for solicitation. Well, they would at least try to get the men that she was in her car with to say that she was soliciting. But they would deny it and be like, "No, we just like Jackie." I know that's right. Now, as noble as men can be, they will just as quickly disappoint you. She also talked about how in any group or band that she was in, there was always at least one man that was going to try to sleep with her. She says, quote, "I never had a group that didn't have one member that wouldn't leave me alone. I don't want you. I will never be with another musician or entertainer, ever." One bandmate got so bad that he pulled a knife on her to threaten her. Thankfully, she did get away. Now, because Jackie Shane was a musician, she was well-traveled, and she would eventually visit Montreal, Canada. And she realized that this was a place for her. Because of the racial tensions heightening that would ultimately lead to the civil rights movement of the 60s. And in 1961, she would move to Toronto, Canada. She became a backup singer for Frank Motley and his Motley Crew, and eventually she would go at it on her own, becoming a regular performer at Toronto's Sapphire Tavern. Now, Jackie Shane had an amazing relationship with Frank Motley and his Motley Crew, and she would record her hit single, Any Other Way, with them. It would go on to reach number 2 on the Canadian charts and break the Hot 100 in the United States at number 68. Now, the popularity of her music would take her on to shows like The Ed Sullivan Show. And if y'all don't know nothing about The Ed Sullivan Show, baby, it's to that generation like 106 in Park is to our generation. Top tier performances, okay? By the best. She would also go on tour as an opener for Etta James. Now, in all of her popularity, Jackie Shane never sang at gay bars. She threw a little shade, delineating herself as a trans woman versus a drag queen, saying, quote, "I'm an R&B singer, not a mimic. I sing the blues. I love the blues. I understand the blues." I know that's right. Now, of course, when you become as popular as Jackie Shane had, the record labels will come a-knocking. And 2 record labels in particular, Atlantic and Motown, did, and she declined. She talks about how Motown Records had come up to the Yonge Street Club to see her in Canada, and she simply wasn't having it, stating, quote, "They had a row of champagne buckets. They tried to talk to me, but I had heard about Berry Gordy and how he takes monies from the entertainers. I wasn't getting involved in that." Yes, Jackie, I know that's right. Y'all not gonna play with me and my money. Find somebody else to do it. In 1971, Jackie Shane would disappear completely from the public eye. Tracks for a tourist. Some people thought she had been murdered in an attack in Brazil, when in actuality, she just moved back to Nashville to take care of her elderly mother. In 2017, an A&R rep from the numeral group by the name of Douglas McGowan tracked Jackie Shane down and convinced her to re-release her music. Now, she did not make it easy for the man. In most cases, she would answer the phone and hang it up, or she would answer the phone and blow a whistle into the receiver and then hang it up. I was like, oh, this track's for a tourist. She was not having it. But once he did convince her to re-release her music, she was acknowledged as the trans woman that she was and the pioneer that she had become. Sadly, Jackie Shane would pass away in February of 2019. She would posthumously be nominated with a Grammy Award for her re-release of Any Other Way, with a nomination in the Best Historical Album category. So that's all I have for y'all this week. I hope I was able to teach you something new in the form of telling you a story about Miss Jackie Shane. I think she was an amazing woman. And her story is special in the way that she was just a Black trans woman that was talented and did what she loved. I think so many Black trans women, especially now, fall into the political work and the advocacy work and the activism work. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think, you know, taking up the mantle of our good foremother, Marsha P. Johnson, is very admirable. We love our Hope Giselle. We love T.S. Madison. We love Dominique Morgan. But I think there is room for Black trans women just to be pretty. And also, you know I can sing, right? I love that for her. And I love that about her, especially at the time in which she was at her prime. So I hope you all return next week for the Facts About video and our celebration of 100 years of Black history. I love you all so much, and thank you for tuning in, because you could have been anywhere else on the internet, but you decided to be here with me. Love you. Bye.